Economist, there's more than $20 trillion sitting in offshore tax havens. Now, The Economist wants to reform the tax laws so we can bring that money back where it belongs, either to America or various other tax jurisdictions around the world. Judge Andrew Napolitano is here. I thought he was going to disagree with that. Is he? What are you going to say?
It's such a loaded question. Bring the money back home where it belongs?
Did I say where it belongs?
Yeah, I think you did, but I think, in fairness to you, you were paraphrasing The Economist.
I was.
Because I suspect you secretly agree with me on this. It belongs wherever the person who owned the money wants it to be. Now let's get this straight. If you earn $1,000 in the United States, you can't avoid paying income tax on that by shipping it to an offshore account. But if you earn $1,000 in the United States, pay taxes on it, and what's left after the taxes, you put in an offshore account, and that generates interest. The question is that interest taxable in the United States? That's the dispute. Yes. The Economist argues that in my hypothetical, the 1,000 is really 20 trillion. So whatever the interest on the 20 trillion would be is a huge number, and whatever the tax on that interest is a huge number that the governments aren't getting.
So should we bring it back?
Of course not. It's the decision of the person who sent it there. They've already paid taxes on it. It's their money.
But
it wasn't generated in the U.S.
But the law says you must declare the interest and the dividends and the capital gains on any assets that you have overseas if you're resident in the United States of America.
I understand that.
That's the law.
One must obey the law. I'm not suggesting that people should violate the law. It's a bad law because the United States has no claim on that. It was not the interest on that 1,000 generated in the offshore account was not generated in the United States of America. So they have no right to tax it.
Tell me, what chance of some political success would you have in the United States if you went out there and campaigned on the issue, oh, I've got a Cayman Islands bank account, I think it's great, I'm going to put my money over there and you're not going to touch it?
Do you really think that I tailor my views to their popularity amongst voters?
No, that's why people like you will lose.
I am not running for office. I am seeking the truth.
So, you agree with The Economist? No, you don't agree with The Economist.
No, I disagree.
You disagree
with The Economist.
Okay.
I say, once you've paid taxes on your money, it is yours to send it where you want. And if it's outside the U.S., the United States government has no claim to the interest that it earns. Not only I, but thousands and thousands of people around the world, I suspect my humble host, secretly agree with
Look at the hand action. Not even I.
Now, would you let me join the Senate committee interrogating Bernanke? We'll have a field day.
Not a prayer. Not a prayer. And apparently Rand Paul, who may have been expected to ask some pretty sharp-edged questions, he's not on the committee. So he's not going to be asking questions today, unfortunately, because that would be some fireworks.
And it would certainly be worth covering.
Yes, it would be worth covering. Well, we're going to cover it.
But like when he said to Hillary, Benghazi, I would have fired you.
That's worth covering.
Yes.
All right, now, wait a minute. Come on, company. $20 trillion sits in tax havens around the world. It's been put there by people who have high tax jurisdictions. It may be Britain, it may be Europe, it may be America, it may be Canada, Sweden, wherever, okay? Should it be repaid? Should we change the tax laws to go get that money and bring it back?
No. Absolutely not.
So?
To your point, it's there not because individuals necessarily want it there. It's there because you've got governments already taking too much money and people are afraid.
Yeah, I love this attitude that only spending cuts are austerity. You know what? Tax hikes are austerity.
You should have listened to Véronique de Rugy, who was on the show sitting right where the judge was sitting earlier. She's done a study, along with a gentleman from Harvard, that shows that the austerity in Europe is not spending cuts. It's tax increases. That's what they're doing.
And they call it austerity, and then they say it doesn't work when they're trying to prove a point.
That's what tipped a into recession. A lot of tax
Krugman's point, which he endlessly goes on about, is that austerity in Europe is wrong. Spending cuts are wrong. Well, he's got it right. It's not spending cuts, it's tax increases.
What Krugman fails to understand is there is a natural point at which when taxes get above that point, it's absolutely counterproductive and destructive. And human beings will do everything that their imagination conjures to avoid that higher rate.
Yes.
Lower the rate, make more money, collect more taxes. He simply doesn't understand that.
On the
Where
right
does he teach?
On the right side, Harvard. And no, it was Princeton. Your alma mater.
Yes.
And he won a Nobel Prize for being nasty about George Bush.
The president won a Nobel Prize for peace, and he kills Americans. Let's not go.
Yeah. You're on a roll until you said that. All right, Judge, not bad.